So you see, Gramps, finesse fishing really does have its place, even when you're fishing for walleyes.
You really think you're telling me something new, youngster? I was hooking big eyes on light jigs when your mama was hooking safety pins in your diapers. Think you're telling me something new? Well, but the point I was making is that in many bodies of water, the walleye is a predator near the top of the food chain. He's an aggressive fish that also responds to active presentations. You don't always have to drag a bait slowly across the bottom to get a walleye to bite. But that's the only presentation many folks ever use. But there's lots more. And if you would read your own magazine, Danny, you'd know that. Like the article where Al was explaining snap jigging.
Hey, when you pick a lure out of your tackle box, what's some of the things that you think about? Size, color, action, scent. What about sound? All of these are important triggering effects that make fish hit a lure. There's another triggering effect that's really important, and it's called speed. Speed control, I really believe, is the most important element of all of the triggers. Today we're going to be using a method called snap jigging for walleyes. And it employs the important element of speed. Snap jigging is easy, yet it can be hard for a lot of anglers to understand. Many cases, you don't ever feel the bait. I'm really moving fairly fast with the bait. The idea is for the bait to shoot off at the bottom about 2 feet at a time. See the distance I'm lifting the rod? And then fall directly down. Shoot off at the bottom and fall directly down. Move about 2 feet and fall directly down. And that's what triggers the fish. It's not the normal lift fall of a jig, lift fall that is somewhat subtle. And I'm moving, ooh, I had him. I had one. It's moving pretty quick. And that's the thing, you're really moving quick. In a lot of cases, you don't even feel the strike. A lot of times it's good to go for, oh, there, I got him. Okay, there. A lot of cases, you hardly feel the strike until you come back on the fish. You don't even know he's there. Oh, come on, baby. A little better. A little better. Snap jigging doesn't work in all locations. The best spots that we've seen consistently over the years are shallow water spots. That's right, shallow water spots. Spines ripping through sparse weed beds. Shallow water flats under 10 feet of water is critical, where that bait actually can skim and drop, skim and drop. So it's a shallow water technique. Over the years, I've seen catches by fishermen that know how to snap jig come off of Minnesota lakes that would floor you, absolutely floor you. And that's where the method was founded, on a lake called Winnie. And the anglers that learned how to do it started traveling all over the country in tournaments and things like this, and applying it to that shallow water bite. Little rock ridges where you get on ridges and you got those little high spots ripping through weeds. Windswept points like I'm on now when these fish get spread up in these shallow water areas. I mean, you can move through 25 boats that are anchored or slip bobber fishing or slowly rigging or casting a jig and come popping that jig, just snapping through there and catch fish after fish after fish. And it's all a triggering effect, pure and simple, based on speed control that's dictated by you running the boat, the weight of the jig you're using, and that's it. That's it. And it takes just a little bit of practice. Ah, oh, moly. Ah, got him that time. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Boy, they're pounded right on that ledge. You know, it's breaking down from about 4 to 8 foot, and they're at the basin and on top. That's a little better one. They're here in all different sizes. Oh, baby. Come here, fish. Let me show you the type of jigs and addressings that we use for snap jigging. When you're choosing a proper jig for snap jigging, there's a couple things to always consider. First of all, this is not a finesse presentation. You want jigs that weigh 1/4, 3/8, or a 1/2 ounce, and they should have a barbed collar to hold the plastic body in place. These 3 jigs are the same weight, but the soft plastic trailer will never stay in place without a barbed collar. Here's a little tip. Even with the barb, a little dab of super glue will hold the plastic in place much longer. The best soft plastic bodies to use for snap jigging are what we refer to as action tails. Baits like a vibra tail, a paddle tail, shad imitators, or the old standby the curly tail, like this Berkeley Power Grub. Hey, don't overlook marabou, feathered, or even bucktail jigs. They too can be very effective. I'll tell you what, one of the most important elements of snapping right is the fishing rod you're using. Most people will try it with a real soft, flexible rod. Don't work. A good 6.5 footer, fairly stout. I would probably call it medium heavy by manufacturer's designs. But watch it, I mean, that rod don't bend. All it does, it really jerks that lure forward. You don't want one of these buggy whips, you'll never be able to fish the bait right. Never. What I really like about snapping is you don't need live bait when the fish are on this type of presentation. A lot of times all you need is that soft plastic alone. If you ever do use live bait, all they are is minnows. You obviously can't do this with leeches or night crawlers, you'd be tearing it off. A soft plastic body like a curly tail or a shad or a grub or a twin tail is what you need. And they work great up in these Canadian lakes. No matter where I've been in Canada, when I got fish in shallow water, snap jigging works. It works good in rivers too, and man, it's dynamite in weed beds. You want the bait away from the boat a distance for this kind of fishing. I threw probably just a good comfortable cast out the back, and I'm fishing no deeper than 8 feet of water. So you want it away from the boat, no question. You don't want it real close to the boat like you would in a more subtle finesse approach. Oh, got him. Got him again. Can't tell the size on it. Don't know. Don't know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do your last minute shake there, baby. Okay, okay, okay. Hold it. Calm down, calm down. Gotcha. Snap jigging. I could do this all day long, every day of the week. Start up and get going. I'll tell you what, there's a load of fish here, folks. And I would not be catching the numbers. I guarantee I wouldn't be catching them if I was casting and subtly working this spot. That snapping triggers so many fish when they're up in shallow water like that. It sounds so simple, and I know some of you are saying, what's so special about that? It's more to it than meets the eye, and until you try it and really get to work on it, oh, look at that again. First cast out again. Oh, man. Jumping. Oh, I love it. I love it. I could sit here and try to cast this hole. You know, and I'd get some fish, there's no question. But nothing like I'm catching here now. Hey, there's a place for everything. There's a place for finesse fishing a jig, and there's a place for snap jigging a jig. Knowing when and where to apply each technique is the key to putting fish like this in a boat consistently.